Hey moms, welcome to another episode of the Life Unboxed blog show where we talk about all things momtrepreneur, which includes raising your kids, running a business, and keeping your sanity. I'm Jodie the mom from lifeunboxed.blog. If you're enjoying the content, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below. I would really love to hear from you. If you're listening to the podcast, be sure to subscribe to the podcast, share the podcast with your friends, and leave a 5-star review wherever you're listening. I truly appreciate your support. And remember, I would love to hear your questions that you just can't seem to get answered. So in the last show, we talked about growing your family while you're growing your business. And I'll leave the link below. So I thought it would be appropriate to talk about sleep, the elusive friend, and the importance of sleep. So throughout our lives, we have an almost antagonistic relationship with sleep. As a child, we fight tooth and nail to avoid it. But as an adult, we no longer have the time to enjoy sleep as much as we would like. And our bodies usually don't let us anymore. Have you reached that age yet? I am at that age where I still wake up at 5:30 in the morning, even on the weekends. And sometimes it can feel like a cruel joke. But the importance of sleep at any age is crucial for a healthy mind, body, and emotional well-being. I recently walked through Barnes & Noble's browsing the shelves, and one of my favorite pastimes, by the way. And what I found interesting was that no matter where I looked, there were books on getting better sleep. They were literally almost everywhere. So that tells me that sleep is a very popular topic right now, and most of us aren't getting enough. So here's a very honest story from me. A mom who hasn't slept in years, well, okay, that is an exaggeration, but when you have so many kids, it feels that way. So one morning I was just crying and there was no reason for it. And if you know me, you know I'm not really a crier. So my kids were fine. I did not have an intense discussion with my husband. The day started out normally. There was literally nothing to cry about. So what caused these flow of tears? One thing. I had a horrible night of sleep, and the thought of trying to get through the day was so overwhelming that it brought me to tears. So the importance of sleep in your life cannot be overstated. Unfortunately, most of us don't get enough of it. The recommended amount of sleep is between 7 to 9 hours for adults. And if you aren't getting that amount consistently, you can't just get it every now and again, but consistently, think of how you can improve your mind, body, business, and family by just fixing this one thing and getting more sleep. Okay, so let's talk about the importance of sleep according to science. So there are numerous studies and papers on the importance of sleep, but I am only going to cite a few points at the moment from Jordan Peterson's book, from his book, The 12 Rules for Life. And these are the ones that I found the most interesting. The body systems that regulate negative emotions are tied to our sleep patterns. So anxiety can be greatly reduced by having a stable, consistent sleep. So acts of life like sleep must have a stable routine. So I'm going to leave off the rest of the science that I could add to this because honestly, we don't need science to tell us that we need to sleep. I know that when I don't get a lot of sleep, I feel like I'm having an out-of-body experience. So have you ever felt that way? It's like your body is functioning on its own, but your brain needs time to catch up. Okay, so let's talk about the importance of sleep for the whole body because sleep affects every part of your body. And according to this article that I will leave linked below, and I know I said I was moving away from the science, but we're just going to do a little bit more. So, sleep is important for your emotions, for you mentally, physically, and spiritually. So, let's just tackle quickly. And these are just, I'm touching some points. So, if you want to delve deeper, obviously, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not giving you advice. I am just telling you, summarizing what they said in the article. So, for your emotions, sleep has a direct impact on your mood, which in turn will affect your interpersonal relationships, which in turn, like as we all know, will affect your mood if they're not good. So, lack of sleep over a prolonged period of time can also lead to depression. So, sleep can actually fix a lot of things. I'm not saying everything. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, but it is interesting to see just the impact that sleep has on your whole body. All right, so mentally. So, lack of sleep also impacts your higher functions of reason, problem solving, and attention to detail. So, the importance of sleep for your brain is amazing. You get more sleep, you think clearer, and you focus better. Those are some great benefits, especially for a mompreneur. So, physically, your body needs sleep. So, this is the time that your body works to repair and restore itself. The result of a good night's sleep is quicker reflexes, too. More tired people get into traffic accidents than those who are driving alert because they slept well. Research also shows that lack of sleep can produce diabetic like conditions in healthy people. Now, that is insane. So, Dr. Michael Tweary, I hope I'm saying the name correctly, is a sleep expert at NIH, and he said it affects growth, stress hormones, our immune system, appetite, breathing, blood pressure, and cardiovascular health. So, sleep impacts pretty much every aspect of your physical body. So let's talk spiritually as well. Now, this wasn't in the article, but I added this. So it could probably fit under mood too, but I wanted to make the distinction because understanding the importance of sleep for our mind and body will have a direct impact on how you view your relationship with God. So throughout the Psalms, the writer laments a number of times that he has cried into his pillow all night long. But also in the Psalms, it says that God gives his beloved sleep. So even the Bible teaches the importance of sleep, and not that crying into your pillow all night long is the best choice to make. Okay, so let's talk about the importance of sleep for a busy mom. Mom, I know your plate is full, and sometimes it seems like the only solution to manage everything is to sleep less, so you have more time for your task. Listen, I know this because this is always my solution. So there doesn't seem to be another way. So I'm not writing this post thinking that I have all the answers because frankly, I don't. But maybe, just maybe, we can figure out a solution together and encourage fellow mompreneurs that sleep is just as important as everything else that we do. All right, so how to get sleep after a new baby. There are certain points in your life when sleep is impossible, like with a new baby. And sometimes those postpartum hormones will mess with your sleep. And I will leave a link below that lets you in on my story on how those postpartum hormones messed with my sleep. And this just adds to more hours without sleep. There are a few things that you can do. So if this is the stage that you're at, and don't worry, we are going to get into just regular life after we had a baby or when the baby's finally sleeping through the night. So number one, keep things in perspective. Remember, a lack of sleep messes with your emotions, so you will have extreme reactions to things. So when our first son was born, I used to call my husband at work laughing and crying. So it just happens. So remind yourself that it won't be like this forever it will pass. Number 2, take one day at a time. When you aren't getting enough sleep, it can start to feel like this is how it will always be. So, see point 1 about keeping things in perspective, but it isn't. Some nights of sleep will be better than others, so just take one day at a time. The season of your life won't last forever, even if it feels that way at the moment. Number 3, take naps during the day and try to get 4 hours of straight sleep. If you can, take a nap. But if you would rather use the little time you have to take a shower, that's okay too. I know all the advice says to sleep when the baby sleeps, but sometimes you need to feel human first before you can even do that. And taking a shower may actually be more refreshing than sleeping at the moment, or, like getting yourself something to eat while baby's sleeping. Yeah. So do what you need to do. So if you can't take a nap because you need to feel more like a human being, that's okay. So did you know that you only need 4 hours of sleep in a row to feel like you had a full night of sleep? I'm not kidding. When I read this after giving birth to our first son, it was a lifeline. Because I remember thinking, like, okay, I can do 4 hours. 4 hours is a goal that can be reached. And after 6 kids, I can say this is true. Just getting those 4 hours of sleep made all the difference in the world. Now, it's not 1 hour here, wake up 1 hour there. It is 4 hours of straight sleep will make you feel like you've had a full night of sleep. Okay, so mom, baby is sleeping through the night, but you aren't. So how to get sleep if you just can't sleep? So yes, your mind churns, and sometimes you think your best thoughts in the middle of the night, or your most anxious ones. Whatever the case may be, you may still be losing sleep, and you no longer have a baby as your reason or excuse. So here are some ideas to help you get more sleep at night. If you have chronic insomnia, then that is something that should be discussed with a medical professional and on a totally different level than what we're talking about here. So this is just for the mom who needs to work at getting more sleep. Number 1, keep a notebook by your bed. Now, I have lots of notebooks to suggest too, so I will leave a link below. Did you know that once you write something down, it gives your mind permission to stop thinking about it? So if you have ideas and to-do lists that just race through your mind at night, then keep a notebook by your bed. Write down your world-conquering ideas and give your brain permission to stop thinking about it. Because it tells your brain that you can offload this now because it's written down. So if that's what's happening to you, keep a notebook by your bed. Number 2, read instead of TV, because the blue light from the screens is known to affect your sleep rhythms. So try turning it off 30 minutes before you sleep. Don't grab your phone and read a book, preferably a physical book and not an ebook. Although devices do have nighttime mode or like blue shade filtering stuff on them. So if you want to do an ebook, you can always just turn that on. Go to bed earlier. That's number 3. So if you need to sleep longer, the only way that is going to happen is by going to bed earlier. Create a nightly routine that starts to signal to your brain that it's time to start powering down. Decide on a bedtime and a wake-up time and stick to it. So here is a bonus recommendation for you as well. Magnesium is also known to help with sleep, and most people are magnesium deficient, and you can look up Dr. Axe because he has stuff on that. So I have tested this out personally, and I highly recommend giving it a try. And you can read more on that in another post that I have, and it'll be linked below. There is a lot of information that I mentioned here, but don't let it add to your stress. If you need to get more sleep, then start with just one thing mentioned. So, when I told my husband my topic for this show, he started laughing at me because I am not known for making rest a high priority. So, let's try to get better at this together. You don't need to do everything all at once, but if you want to be your best self physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, then the importance of sleep needs to be a priority. So let me know what you decide to do or what you are already doing that works for you, because we are helping each other out, moms. I am so glad you joined me today. If you want to help spread the word, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. You can listen to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Remember to check out the Life Unboxed store for your Mom Boss merch. You can support the show with coffee. Visit ko-fi.com/Life Unboxed blog. For more great momtrepreneur content, follow Life Unboxed on social media or check out lifeunboxed.blog. Be sure to share the podcast and video with your friends. And I will see you in the next video.